is being live streamed. Recording, and it looks like we are live.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Marco. And welcome everyone from the Salinas Union High School District family out there and community. We are so honored today to be launching National Counselor Week, where we get to take a moment to talk to some of our counselors, the amazing people behind the scenes that are doing the good work in the name of kids throughout the Salinas Union High School District, right here in the Salinas Valley in Monterey County, California. So shout out, give a round of applause to our counselors joining us in today's studio. Yay! So I am the proud superintendent, Dr. Xander Joe Galvan of the Salinas Union High School District. And with me today is Mr. Marcos Cabrera, our communications director that is going to be here with us to help support this call happening. But before we get started on asking our fabulous counseling team some questions, we want you, our listeners, to know who is exactly the people that are on this call today that are going to be sharing not only their personal love of being a counselor, but also their professional love, like what got them into counseling, what makes them happy, what makes them smile, what is a fabulous story that they have about a student that just touched their lives, and so much more. So stay tuned. We're together for 1 full hour, and magic is going to be shared right here today, again, as we launch National Counselor Week all over the United States. And we are proud again of our Salinas Union High School District counselors. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go around the room and they're going to unmute themselves and they are going to tell you their name, the school that they are representing, and their favorite ice cream flavor. All right. Let's see. We're going to start with Miss Christina.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina Pena-Macias. I am a counselor at Salinas High School in Salinas, California, and I have been a counselor for 20 years, 18 of them here at Salinas High. And my favorite ice cream flavor, I'd have to say butter pecan. I love, that's like one of my favorites.
Yum. Snaps if you also love butter pecan ice cream. Yup. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome, Christina from Salinas High School District. All right. Next is Linda.
Hello, everybody. I'm Linda Saucedo. I'm a counselor at La Paz Middle School. Yay. This is my 18th year here.
Wow.
I am a ice cream junkie, but my go-to and safe flavor is vanilla.
Oh, French or?
You know what? Just plain good old vanilla.
Good vanilla. Nice. All right. Snaps for Miss Linda, hailing to us from La Paz Middle School. Thanks for being here, Linda. All right. Noelle. What is your answer?
Hi, my name is Noelle. I'm a counselor at North Salinas High School, and also I work with MTROP as well. My favorite ice cream, it's pretty simple. It's just world-class chocolate.
Oh, just
that's it.
Yum. Flavorful.
Simple and good.
And how long you been working at?
Oh, yes. I've been here for 3 years. My third year.
Third year. Welcome. So she is a proud Viking from North Salinas High. Welcome, Nicole. Woo. All right, we're going to go just underneath you on my square, and that is Araceli.
Hey, everyone. My name is Araceli Cuentas. I am a counselor at Everett Alvarez High School, and I've been here for 3 years. I also love ice cream. I'm a sucker for peanut butter mixed with chocolate.
Oh, that's a great combo. Yeah. Snaps for that. Love it. All right, Araceli's from Everett Alvarez. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. All right, next in my row here is Leslie.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Leslie. I've been at Salinas High either 22 or 23 years. I'm going to go off Natalia's start date because it's the same and I can't remember. But I've actually worked in 2 other school districts before that. And I love Salinas High. I feel very blessed to work there. And I'm going to blow your minds. I don't really like ice cream very much.
Oh, all right. What is there any other sweet treat
Popcorn.
you like?
Popcorn's my
Popcorn.
jam.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you like buttered or do you like?
Oh yeah. More salt the better. I'll eat candy though.
Right.
Hit me up, you guys. I'll eat candy.
Welcome, Leslie from Cowboy Nation over at Salinas High School. Yay. Thank you for being here. All right, Emily, you're right center in the middle.
Hi, my name is Emily Oliver. I work at North Salinas High School, and this is my 7th year here, 8 years as a counselor. And I recently discovered one of my new favorite ice creams. It's Mary Ann's ice cream. It's called Heaven. It's a blend of like double fudge brownie, chocolate swirl, peanut butter swirl, and like chocolate chip stuff. So it's really good.
Yum. Sounds good. Yummy. All right. And you are a proud Viking just like Noelle. Awesome. Welcome here. All right. Now we're going right over. Next is Irene.
Hello, everyone. My name is Irene Bailey. I work at Hardin Middle School. This is my 9th year. However, I've been doing the counseling gig for 20. Wow. I would say my favorite ice cream, I love strawberry with anything, but really the top one is strawberry cheesecake ice cream.
Oh, nice little blend of some cheesy, but also the strawberries. Nice. All right. Irene is a proud Husky, right? From Hardin Middle School. All right. Welcome. All right. Natalia, you're on.
Hello, Natalia Mariscal from Alsa High. And Leslie, I was just going to say over 20 years because I'm not mathing with today. And my favorite ice cream is Rocky Road.
Oh, that's a go-to favorite for sure. All right. Awesome. And Natalia, you said Salinas High School as well, right? No.
Alice High.
Yes, you're Alice. All right. We got a Trojan in the house.
Yes.
Nice job. Woo. All right. Thank you for being here, Natalia. Ramiro, what say you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ramiro Medrano. I'm a counselor here at Everett Alvarez. I'm from Watsonville. I've been a counselor for 10 years, but this is going to be my 5th year here at Everett Alvarez. My favorite ice cream has to be mint chocolate chip.
Oh, nice. Little treat, little thin mint cookie kind of a yummy. All right, Ramiro, thank you so much for being here. All right, now some people move. Let me make sure I get this right. Lorena, welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lorena Hell. I am a counselor at Rancho San Juan High School. I've been here 6 years since the year before the school opened, a total of 15 years in our district as a counselor. Ice cream, any Ben & Jerry's flavor. The more flavors, the better. I don't have a very specific flavor. Thank you.
You love them all. I love it. All right. Well, welcome, Lorena, Rancho San Juan, joining us as well. So it looks like we almost have someone from all of our schools. So I love that. Thanks so much again for taking the time to be here. Again, for those that are listening in on this is National Counselor Week. We are so excited to be celebrating our counselors throughout our district. And we are hosting right now some really cool questions, both personal and professional, so that those in our community get to know a little bit more about the fabulous people who make magic happen. Every time I meet a parent in our community, they're saying that how much they want their kid to either go to college or career or do something great with their life. And for those of you who don't know, this is the team. The counselors are the ones that really make those dreams come true, along with all the other team members on our staff, our teams at all of our schools. You are truly the magic that makes sure that kids are matched with what they want to do in their life. So we're so proud of that. All right. So with that, we're going to get started with some questions. And the first question is really about inspiration. So for our listeners out there, here's a personal and a fun question. And it is, what inspired you? What inspired you to become a school counselor? And how has your journey shaped you? So what inspired you? How has your journey evolved over these years? All right. I'll start with someone and then I'll let that person kind of tag another person. All right. So Emily, you're right at the middle of my screen. So I'm going to go to you. Emily, what inspired you to be a school counselor and how has that journey shaped who you are today?
Alrighty, I'll get started. So I'll just start off by giving a shout out to my mother. She is who inspired me to become a school counselor. Both of my parents worked in this district throughout my entire childhood, just growing up. They had 30-year careers in this district. And my mom, halfway through her career, decided to go into school counseling. So I saw her go through the program, the same program I went through. And I had always, when I was younger, kind of been like, oh, I'm going to do something else. But once I actually got experience working with students and realizing that it was my passion, that I really loved it. And with counseling, I appreciate the ability to work one-on-one with students, to really help them to develop their dreams, really. And so with inspiration of my mother and the inspiration of my parents, and just wanting to be in a helping profession, that led me to school counseling and to the district that both my parents worked at.
Sorry, I muted myself. What a fabulous story. So it's a journey of love and what you've seen in your family and matching those dreams to come true. It makes a really big deal for you. Thank you so much for sharing. That is a beautiful story. Would you like to call on one of your colleagues to share also what is inspiring to them?
Call on Irene Bailey.
Nice. All right.
I know you were going to do that, Emily. So my inspiration, I think, came early on, but I didn't realize it until way later. I was a high school senior, and I happened to have a migrant resource counselor who was all about it. She wanted me to be college bound, and she set the seed in me, and it just bloomed with her love and care. And so it wasn't until maybe 6 or 7 years later that I reflected, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be a doctor. I should be a school counselor. And so that's how kind of I set my way. I was still into the medical profession, and I was like, no, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And school counseling kind of just made its way into how the universe works. She puts things into place, and you just go with it, and that's what happened. But she was very instrumental, and she was very much part of my family. And being a migrant kid, you worked hard and you wanted to make parents proud, and that's where my inspiration came from.
Wow, what a beautiful story. Connecting with your family, wanting to make your parents proud. I think that's so common with the students that we serve. But you also shared about passion and matching that with what? So you would have been an amazing doctor too, just so you know. You would have, but also just knowing that what's in your heart, like whatever you feel you're making a bigger difference with is with the kids and how your passion comes across. Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much. Irene, you call on another friend. Let's see what someone else has to say about that.
I want to hear from Miss Hale, Miss Lorena Hale.
Miss Lorena.
Perfect. Thank you. I think my story is similar to Miss Bailey's. Being a first gen, actually born in Mexico, moved to the US really at the age of 5, not really understanding how to get to higher ed, but really having like my family's dreams and goals, push me to keep working further, kind of sort of pushed me into counseling. I had an amazing counselor at Alvarez High School, Ms. Basurto, who really also inspired me. I didn't know it at the time, how much she really had inspired me. And so just, being able to be a resource to our students in the community and being able to help anyone who comes through our doors is truly a blessing.
I love that. So Lorena, you too, it's a kind of it's a calling for you. That serving others is something that is in your heart and how you want to make sure that they are matched with whatever they want to do too. And it started with you and, making also, you mentioned about higher ed and family dreams. I think that's another very strong common thread with some of the answers we've heard and how we want to make sure that not only are we making our own parents proud, but we're also helping our students to make sure that their parents are proud of them too. That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Lorena. How about you pick on one more person?
Okay, I'm gonna pick Natalia.
All right, Natalia's turn. Or I think she had to step away, maybe. I think I saw someone say, be right back. You want to pick on one more other person? We'll grab her the next one.
Okay. Linda.
All right, Linda.
So let's see. So I think that my story is a little bit different. So I grew up in Salinas. I came from a single mother home, broken home. My father went to prison, so early on, I think I had just a different set of struggles. And overcoming that, I think led me to see things differently, to be able to give back to students with maybe experiences that other people might not be able to relate to. So my journey's been a bit different. Still very happy to be here. I love working with kids and just their innocence, their wholesomeness. It makes everything that I've ever gone through in my life well worth it, just to be able to give back.
Linda, thank you so much for sharing just your own lived experience. I think that when we have endured pain and suffering in our life, it makes us a better leader because you also have that empathetic lens to share with another person. And when you're sitting across the table from a student who is going through the same thing that you remember going through with a single mom, or dad's not in the picture, or just different types of violence that you might have seen growing up, or you weren't born in the country. And then one of our other team members here shared, I'm from another country and I came here. That is also when kids come to you with fear or anxiety, you're able to listen through that lived and you match. Yes. You are a better human because you get to share a common connection with our kids. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it is something that we underestimate the power of adversity. And I think also is so important, Linda, that you shared also with all of us and even listeners out there that are listening in. There is no shame. Like, never be ashamed of your lived experience, because it's what you do with that lived experience that makes you a stronger leader and kind of empathetic listener when it comes to our students. And so I want to thank you for sharing that. And I encourage everyone to really think about today on this call, but also whoever's listening to us, and think about how you lead and where you lead from. And when students know that you have something in common, they will open up the door even more so and share with you. So thank you, Linda. You are awesome. So happy that you're here. Okay, so how about one more person, Linda? Because I think Natalia was muted, I saw. So I think she's ready.
I think she's at a drive-through somewhere.
She ordered us an In-N-Out burger too. We want it too.
I have to be ready. I have a carpool at 5 o'clock, so I made it to my driveway.
All right, awesome.
My parents are both educators, and so I really wanted to move away from education and had planned on being a medical social worker. And the principal at LSL High School, after I'd finished my master's program from social work, kind of pulled me back in to education, and I'm so grateful. I really enjoy where I'm at, and I love working with our students, and I get to practice social work as well as academic planning and helping guide students. So it's really worked out for my benefit. I really like what I do.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Natalia, for sharing. It is when you find something that you truly believe is helping support others in their journey. So you would have been an amazing social worker too. But we're so glad you're here with us because we get to benefit from your amazing leadership with the students that you get to serve. So thank you for that. All right, we're going to move on to another question. But is there anyone in this space that really wants to share their story before we move on to the next question? I'm going to leave it open for a few seconds here.
I do.
All right, go for it, Leslie. We're all ears.
Because I just want to echo being the first gen and not having a single parent family or no money and all that. And when I was in high school, I would have never made it to college if a friend's mom hadn't talked to me in like March of senior year. Said, "Hey, what's your plan?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" So, because college is not it was not a thing in my family. And in fact, when I said I wanted to go, the couple people that were paying attention tried to talk me out of it. So, my gosh, you guys, I'm dealing with an aggressive cat right now. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sticking his head in the camera. Stop. So, anyways, I think, and I supported myself all through college, and it took me 10 years and all that, but it's all stuff that I don't like lament, because I think it makes me better at what I do.
Yeah.
Having that perspective and having to fight to go to college and really valuing it. So I think it makes me better. Also, having worked the whole time, it makes, not everyone's bound for college, and that's not their plan. So anyways, I just feel very thankful to have my job and to have been able to do it with or without input. It wasn't a counselor. There was teachers along the way who believed in me, and coaches and things like that. So just we're all role models, and I know we all take it seriously.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm really glad you shared that, because I think it's really important for our listeners and our community to know about gatekeeping, truly, and how there are people in society in positions of power that might want to predetermine the success of a student or you as an adult learner who has aspirations to do more as well. And it's so important to know and to teach our students to stand boldly and know that they absolutely can do whatever they need to do. But then also in your case, it was an adult. It was a parent of a friend that said, "No, I see something in you, Leslie, that has potential, that I want to match you with that." And so it also has to do with allies, co-conspirators that we have in our students' lives as well as in our own lives that help support us into giving you that wind beneath your wings to say, "No, there's more for you. Your story is not yet defined," and how important that is. And the other thing that you mentioned also was about not being a thing. It is so important for us to think about our parent community. And I know that they all want the best for our students, right? They all want them to get into college or university and so forth. Or they may also, our students might think, "Well, I'm not good in school. Like, I don't know how to navigate school as well," to have also options for them. And so how important it is for us in our positions to say, "Okay, well, let's prep you for college or career. Let's prep you for the university, and you can apply and you can get in. We're going to help you do that. But if it's not for you, let's just talk about careers, because there are some amazing careers that we emphasize sometimes in mainstream America that said, you're not good enough. If you didn't get into this university, you're not good enough. Although nursing is another pathway, and becoming a firefighter and a welder and a mechanic are also high livable wage paying careers. It's more about how do we match you with that so that you know. And so there's so many opportunities just to collaborate as a school team. But I really want to thank you for emphasizing how adults, no matter where you are, you can inspire a young person to keep going and staying on track. Yes, our counselors are our front line, our teachers, our classified team members, our administrators, but any adult, anywhere, if you see a kid and you learn about their life story and what they're all about, you have the power to transform them and to connect them with whatever they want to do in their life. And so what you shared is just so important about conversations and stopping young people and encouraging them to keep going. So thank you for sharing that, Leslie. You had so many things I had to unpack in your response there. Yes, hearts to you. Anyone else want to share what inspired them and how your journey has shaped you? I want to give everyone an opportunity for that one.
I can share.
All right. Yes, go for it, Maramito.
Well, so I'm from Watsonville. I went to high school from 93 to 97. And it was a time when California had massive budget cuts. And in Watsonville, some of the first people to go were counselors. So actually in high school, I don't ever remember talking to a counselor or anybody pulling me out to say why I was in danger of not graduating. I actually didn't graduate high school. And it was actually a peer of mine. It was another young man who I befriended who asked me what I was going to do after high school. And I said, I'm just going to work, dude, because I didn't graduate. And he looked at me, he's like, didn't your counselor tell you that you could still go to community college? And that blew my mind because nobody had ever took the time to tell me. And he pretty much changed my life because if it wouldn't have been for him at that specific time, I would not have returned to school. It took me a long time because I didn't graduate high school. I didn't get financial aid, federal financial aid. So I had to work all my way through college. I'm first generation, oldest in my family as well. So I didn't have older brothers or sisters who could teach me the ropes. So I had to, as many of us, I'm sure I had to figure it all out along the way. So, but you know, for me, at the time, it was a peer. It was another young person who probably was guided by an adult, but that's also very telling of the importance of, you know, teaching our youth so that they can empower themselves. So, yeah.
I love that, Ramiro. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh, a second chance. A second chance. And by chance, it was a friend, right? Of yours that said, hey, didn't you know this? Wow. So powerful to redirect young people onto that pathway. And again, same with you. The stories that you get to share about, hey, you know what? I almost didn't know what I was going to do. And look how I got back in. You bring up another really great point, and that is knowledge. Knowledge is power. The more we get information out there to our community about, you can go to college for free. Did you know about the Salinas Valley Promise? Did you know about other scholarships that are affordable to, you know, our students or afforded to our students for four-year universities? All those kinds of things allow our kids to know that you're not done. Like, there are so many options for you. And it's a big decision on what you want to do with your life, right? So it should weigh, you know, it's complicated for sure. But I love what you shared because that you carry with you. And so when you're counseling other students and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm just going to, you know, I'm just going to stay home. I'm going to live with my parents, or I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do later. And then later doesn't come, right? And the one thing that I led with when I opened up with some of the teams is the poverty cycle. Like, it's real. The poverty cycle. And I'm just going to, for those of you who are listening in on the work of a counselor and how critical the work of a counselor, a teacher, a school professional is, let me just break it down for our listeners. So here's what a poverty cycle is. And I just want to remind everyone here in the SUHSD, we have over 90% of our students are designated in poverty. 90%. Okay. So 9 out of 10 students are dealing with some kind of issue at home that is not at financially is a little bit difficult for their family. Okay. So they're not living in un castillo on the hill. You know, they're trying to figure out life and to care and feed for the family. It's tough. It's tough. So 90% of our students are designated in poverty. So now here's what happens. Let me break down the cycle of poverty. Number one, if a child grows up in poverty, the child is at a significant disadvantage in the home. Significant disadvantage. They don't have the books. They don't have opportunities for tutorials. They don't have, you know, mom and dad may be working late, or maybe just mom is, or maybe dad's not even in the picture, those kinds of things. They don't have the resources at home. So if they're failing a class, they don't know what to do. They're in a significant disadvantage. So then guess what? They go through school and they struggle to go through school because their family situation is in poverty. If they struggle to find a job when they graduate, or even if they graduate, they continue to be at a significant disadvantage. Okay, so here we go. Let me break it down again. Child grows up in poverty, significant disadvantage. They leave our school system. They struggle to find a job. And then guess what? They marry someone else who is also in the same economic situation. So if you find another person living in the neighborhood that you fall in love with, you marry, you're both in poverty. So guess what happens? They have babies. So where are those babies growing up? in poverty. So then they fail to escape poverty. So if a child grows up, significant disadvantage, you fail to find a job, you struggle to find a job, you marry another person, you have kids, it's a perpetual cycle. So poverty is a real situation. And the way to get out of poverty is through the educational system, which is why it's so critical right now to be knowing who your counselor is and the work that these amazing people on this call do. And outside all of our school district, we have so many amazing counselors that are matching kids' desires with their dreams. And so I just needed to point that out because poverty is real and we have to break kids free from that cycle. Not only does it boost our economy when our kids are thriving and are able to get a great job and buy a beautiful home and raise their family, but it's also helping our parent community for sure in making sure that their students are matched with those loves. So I wanted to emphasize that, Ramiro, because what you shared is such a serious kind of call to action for those of us that serve here in the Salinas Union High School District. And again, I just want to thank you for pointing that out, because as people think about how serious our work is, it really gets down to every single child, every single youth that we get to encounter. So thank you so much for sharing that. All right, I am going to jump to another question because this has been such a powerful, so far we have learned from these amazing folks what their favorite ice cream is, how long they've been in our district, where they serve us, and what has inspired them. So the next question I'm going to ask you, and this is what's going to touch on some of the people's hearts here in our call. I want you to think about the most heartwarming and memorable moment you've ever had with one of our students. Heartwarming, most memorable moment you've had that just touched your heart in the biggest of ways. All right? Who'd like to go? Somebody maybe who hasn't shared anything yet, or anyone who just feels like they're ready to tackle that question. Just unmute yourself and we're ready for you. Now you're thinking, okay, let me see. There's probably many more than just one.
I'll jump in.
All right, go for it, Noelle.
Go ahead, Noelle.
Right,
Everyone was just staring. I'll jump in.
Go, Noelle.
I think for me, it's only my third year in, but I think for me, it's seeing them reach their goal, right? A lot of our kids with the graduation is a big moment, but seeing the smiles on their faces at graduation is so cool. Seeing them wave to their parents, that they accomplished that. You just talked about our poverty issue. And I think that that's a big thing, just seeing them make it, and they did it on their own, right? Like they came to us for guidance or other teachers on campus, but I think seeing them actually accomplish their goal and then hearing about what they're going to do after, right? Like I'm going to either go to Hartnell or I'm going to go to a 4-year. I just had a girl come the other day who wants to be a dentist. Her dad was a dentist and she got into UOP. And that was really exciting to see that from her. It's all she's ever wanted, and she's accomplished that. So seeing those things, and then I think graduation is just really cool to see all that kind of stuff.
That's amazing. I love that. So true. Matching their hopes with their dreams and seeing their eyes light up when you've helped them achieve that goal. Thank you, Noelle. That was beautiful. All right. I know that Christina was ready too. Go for it, Christina.
This was, and this has happened earlier this week, or actually last week, sorry, because today's Monday. But in light of like the political climate and what students are worried about, I had a student say, well, what's the point of graduating if they don't, and she just said, if they don't even want us here. And I don't have that experience. My family I'm not an immigrant. My family's not immigrants. My family's generations and generations from Texas. And so I had to stop and I told her, I said, you know what, honey, I get it. I don't know that experience specifically, but I understand like where you're coming from. I said, and even more so now, you need to graduate from high school. And I said, because you need to prove all of those people wrong who think that you're here to steal their job, that you're trying to steal their money, steal whatever it is that they think you're taking from them. And I said, you need to prove them wrong. I said, you have every right to get your education and you have every right to move forward and do something better in your life. I said, that's probably why your parents came here.
Yeah.
That's probably why they brought you here.
Yeah.
I said, so you could have something better. I said, and so, we're going to figure out how you're going to get through. You're going to make up those credits, and if we're going to push through, and we're going to get you there. We're going to walk across that stage, whether it's in May or in July. You're going to walk across that stage, and that's for me is like, that's why I think that's why I do it. Right? We know we have kids that have that institutional knowledge, have that family history, that people have gone to college, and those students are just as much of a motivator. But it's those kids who maybe don't have somebody in their corner, right? Those kids whose parents aren't going to come to school and ask about tutorial or ask about credit recovery or coming to summer school. It's those kids who maybe don't really think they belong here, but it's just like, no, you're going to stay here. You're going to get this degree. You're going to get this diploma. And then afterwards, hopefully you're going to go on to something bigger and better. So I think that's always a memorable thing, right? That we're being able to make that connection. Sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes it's in a group setting, sometimes it's just in passing in the hall, right? That a student says hi and you're like, oh, you're the person that I talked to. So that's always super important to remember, and especially when there's going to be days when maybe you've got that parent who yelled at you on the phone or sent you a nasty email or sent your principal a nasty email, whatever, right? Or they're thinking all these other things. And sometimes it's just that one interaction that day that is just like, this is why I woke up today. This is why I come and do what I do every single day.
Gosh, snaps for that. That is so beautiful. I know so many of you. Thank you, Cristina, for sharing that. So many of you, I'm sure, have had numerous students in your office just talking to you about the current climate across this nation and seeking advice. And you may know things about their family situation or their own personal situation and how they come to you as a trusting adult, and you are their greatest hope. Every conversation, while one may not predetermine everything, it can change the trajectory of their perspective in an instant. And knowing that you as leaders, as counselors, are that special connector with them and their future makes such a big difference. Cristina, you mentioned also about, the quote that they don't want us here. That's a hard reality that they're seeing thrown at them all over social media. But you also mentioned about, there's bigger and better things for you and your future is not yet determined. And so while we can live in the space of, they don't want us here, those kinds of things, you quickly flip that into a positive and say, let's talk about what we can talk about, because we can speculate about uncertainty all day. But once you say, hey, but let's talk about you're going to graduate, and let's talk about when you're going to graduate. Is it going to be in May or is it going to be in July? How do I get you back on track? Because what do you love? And you're destined for bigger and better things. And that is such a beautiful flip on making them feel affirmed that they absolutely have things that they can do in their power. Thank you for doing that. Cristina, you're a prime example of everyone on this call, all of our counselors throughout our district that just love on kids on their best day and on their worst day. And God knows you are, dealing with a lot of highs and lows currently right now. And I just appreciate you. If I don't say it enough, I appreciate you on behalf of the district, on behalf of, what I get to do with you, but also on our board of trustees, your school administrators, district administrators. They know how important your work is. And I just want to thank you for being that steady force for our kiddos. All right, more. How about another heartwarming, memorable moment? Anyone else?
I can share.
Yes, go, Emily.
I had a different one and then I changed my mind partway through.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, I had a student and we'd had outreach meetings throughout his senior year. He was behind in credits, struggled with his classes. We made it all the way to May and it looked like he was going to be probably a summer grad. And so he came to me a couple weeks before graduation, was like, I really just emotional, crying, like I really want to walk, I really want to make it this May. I'm like, okay, let's see what we need to do. I'm like, okay, you still have these 2 credit recovery classes, you're great in this class. And so we kind of looked at what he needed to do. And I told him, because really, the last week of school or so, a lot of the seniors were clearing and getting ready for graduation. I said, come to my office every day in the morning, and we're gonna work on everything that you need to do. We're gonna get your credit recovery. We're gonna get your grade up. He was in math too. So he came every day in the morning. It was in front of my office all day, every day, like go get lunch and come back. I remember sitting with him and I was like, I haven't done math since high school, but we're like doing math 2 problems together, and I'm like helping him. And he made it. He got his grade up. He did his credit recovery. He made it like within hours probably, but he cleared. And I remember like just seeing him at graduation, seeing he had the biggest smile on his face out of the entire like thousands of people in the crowd, in the audience. He gave me a giant hug before he crossed the stage. And it reminded me what it's all worth and why we're doing this, and just supporting those students wherever they at to help them to walk that stage and go on to bigger, better things in their future.
That is a fabulous story. How many of you snaps do this if you've also had, yes, that student that was like the underdog, came from behind, maybe made some mistakes in their educational journey, but finally crossed the line, finished up, and graduated. That is a phenomenal story. And you're so right. Like those are the special ones. Like all of our kids are special, but when you know they came from behind, they put in the work finally, they figured it out, and they graduated. Like that is truly inspiration and the secret sauce to what you get to do every day, right? When you see that finally clicked and they did it. I love it. All right. Awesome. Thanks so much. All right. So let me see. I'm going to jump to, as we think about a fun fact that people might not know about you. All right. So they get to see this cool counselor show up every day with your college swag, your cool, gear you get to share with them when you're in your offices. But what is one fun fact that maybe people don't know about you? And we'll end with this one because we're almost out of time. We'll go around. Everyone gets to share one fun fact about you that your students and the community may not know. All right, I'm gonna give you a second to think about that while I remind our listeners, we are so grateful. This is National Counselor Week. We are here in the Salinas Union High School District with a phenomenal team of counselors from throughout our schools that are joining us here today. We've been together since 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. If you want to catch any part of this interview, please go to our Salinas Union High School YouTube channel. It'll be posted there for you to continue to watch and listen to some of the amazing stories that inspire each other, but they also inspire our kids to do really great things. And all of that is because our counselors are the best on the planet right here. So if you're looking for a school district to join, this is the place to be, because every single school has some rock stars that are doing this work all in the name of kids. So hopefully that gave you a little time to think about one fun fact that your students and colleagues and the community may not know about you. All right, who's ready to go first?
I can.
All right, Natalia, what do people not know about you?
A lot of the people in this room may know, but I moved to California from Indiana. I was the last person that any of my family or anyone would think would move away from home. And I guess you could say I did it for love. And here I am, married and happy. And it's a great place to be. And I love being part of this community. So I'm home.
So Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So welcome to California. Now you've been here how
long? 25 years.
Wow.
26. Yeah.
Well, we're so glad you chose us. All right.
Me too.
Natalia from Indiana, but now a Cali girl. All right, Natalia, call on one of your friends. Anyone in the room here?
Let's go with Leslie.
All right, Leslie. Fun fact.
I'm so excited I'm Natalia's friend. And I know a really lovable guy too, by the way, that I work with. But anyways, I don't know if it's a fact, but it was related to one of the other questions you were going to ask, which like what were we going to maybe do instead?
Oh yeah.
And I really thought I might either be a politician or a talk show host. So I think that because I loved Oprah Winfrey. She motivated me, inspired me, and she's my superhero. So I think that being a high school counselor is like a good cross between both of us.
You still get to kind of be in that mode of interviewing people. Awesome. So what kind of talk show host would it have been, you think?
Oh, I was going to be Oprah when she retired.
Oh, so Miss.
Yeah, it didn't work out though. So you guys, it's okay.
All right, it's okay. But hey, we can do a round 2 of this interview and you can be the talk show host. How about that?
I think you're doing a pretty good job. I might have to I could be your warm-up act with the audience.
Hey, there you go. I love it. I love it. Yeah. All right, well, Leslie, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Go ahead and give a shout out to one of your colleagues in the space. Who's next?
I'm gonna pick my newer friend Ramiro. Can't wait to hear what he says.
Oh, thank you, Leslie. Okay, Ramiro.
Yikes. Okay, so I guess a fun fact. So again, I mentioned that I'm from Watsonville, and in my college days, I got to become very active, and I became an activist in Watsonville, and I became part of an organization called the Watsonville Brown Berets. It was a group of young Chicanos, and we were fighting for a lot of stuff that unfortunately is still happening today, like immigration rights. We would get very involved in education. We'd go to the school board. Sometimes, like, it would get pretty heated, and then we would, be like protesting, and we were all about nonviolence and followed the legacy of Cesar Chavez and Martin Luther King and Muhammad Gandhi. But that didn't mean that we weren't angry and we weren't fiery. And so, yeah, if you go to Watsonville, and you mention my name, maybe some people will be like, "Oh, that Ramiro, yeah, the one that was used to do the marches," and I'm still involved. Just a shout out right now. There's a new network that started in Monterey County to report ICE activity. I'm part of that network as well. So just in case everybody didn't know, there's a number where people can report ICE activity in the community, just to report out to the community that there are ICEs in the community. And so I can send the number later if people don't have it. I believe Dr. Galvan already sent it out as well. So that's a fun fact.
Wow. Thank you, Ramiro. That is a fun fact. I love that about you. And it is so important that when you see something that's an injustice, how do we teach our students to take a bold stance, to speak truth to power when sometimes it's not comfortable? It's a scary thing to think that there's something that's going wrong and then you don't have a voice to say anything about it. And you as a young person took that stance at an early age. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, Ramiro, call on someone else who hasn't shared yet.
My colega, Miss Cuentas.
All right.
Gosh, these are kind of hard to compete with. Mine don't seem so fun anymore. I think a lot of my students know that I love soccer, and so they probably don't know though that I play soccer in Salinas unless I run into them on the field. And so that's fun for me to see, my students in a different setting, and to interact with them out in the community that way. I think my students like to think that I'm very quiet and very reserved, but I also love to have fun, and so I love anything that's adrenaline. So like skydiving, soccer, even at my age. So yeah, that's I think they probably would never guess.
That is a fun fact. I love learning that. So you play soccer right now as an adult. I bet you do you get aggressive?
I mean, not when we play against students.
Are you all about the W? You want to win?
Yeah, I'm very let's win.
Competitive. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Araceli, pick on someone else in the room that hasn't shared yet.
Oh gosh, I haven't been in, Linda.
All right, Linda's turn. Fun fact. Something people might not know about you.
Yikes, I'm kind of blah. I'm gonna say maybe not so fun fact, but like a weird fact is that I still am terrified of the dark.
Oh.
So I have a nightlight.
I love it.
Weird fact. But yeah, I despise the dark. So even like if for some reason I'm here late at school and the lights are off in the bathroom, like I won't go in, or I'll have somebody go with me because Bloody Mary might come out or something. But I'm still scared. Weird fact.
I love it. How about clowns? You like clowns?
I could tolerate clowns.
Yeah. Okay.
But here on campus, I'm the prankster, so I guess it's my own karma doing it back to me.
Oh, there you go. All right. Thank you, Linda, for sharing. Call on another person. Somebody who hasn't gone yet.
Did Lorena Hale already go? Lorena.
She's ready.
Thank you. I'm a big foodie. I love to travel. And most recently, I've been using TikTok to create my trip itinerary based off of food. So it's all about food. I'm obsessed with just food. So I've been really enjoying all sorts of different types of food from different ethnicities and cultures.
So your Food Network. Food Network is one of your jams.
No, not really. I really like TikTok is, because it's real people. Well, most people are real, giving you their honest opinion about like different types of food and like the mom and pop shops that are not necessarily known. Like recently we took our son to check out a college in New York, and our entire trip was based off of like TikTok recommendations off of like mom and pop shops, and we loved it. It was amazing.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes.
We're gonna have to get together. I love that. Our families are big foodies too. We like always want to have a good meal everywhere we are. All right, awesome. Who hasn't gone yet? Lorena, do you remember? Who else?
I think Irene and Emily, right? And Noelle.
All right. Irene, Emily, and Noelle. Christina, did you go already? Yes? No. Okay, we have 4 people left.
I'm sorry.
All right. So
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay. So I kind of mentioned it before when I did my intro, but I think something that my kids don't necessarily know, or my students don't necessarily know, is that I graduated college very much going into the medical profession. Okay. I did pre-med. I did all the science, all of that good stuff. No regrets. But I had every intention of being a doctora. Not your kind of doctora, but a doctora. And so somewhere along the way, even after post my college years, I don't, like I said, the universe, she works in mysterious ways and she lays out the plan for you. And so I remember having this book from the University of San Diego because I was going to go into medical professions. So I was going to go into their nursing program. And then the book happened to open to school counseling. And from that was the story she wrote. So that was it. I looked at the program, fell in love with it, went, and here I am 20 years later.
Wow. We're so glad you chose us again. Snap. That's a beautiful story. Fun fact. Medical doctor to school counselor. It's going to be a future book you're going to write for us. All right. Who's next? Cristina.
A fun fact. I don't know if this is like, I'm going to follow Ramiro's footsteps, but in the sense that when I was in college, I was in college in like the mid to late 90s. So there was a lot of political stuff going on, and my father was a Brown Beret. So shout out to the Brown Berets. And he was heavily involved in the politics. He was part of the lettuce boycott here in California, here in Salinas. He helped a group of people that he was with they founded San Gerardo, which is the labor camp co-op that's out there. So I too was a bit of an activist. And when I was in college, I got to meet Vice President Al Gore, and we had to be screened. We had to provide like our information so they could run a background check. And it was the day of the event because it was like a town hall meeting for all the financial aid people. And I was like, oh, no one's told me anything. And they're like, yeah, about your background check. They're like, you want to tell us about the CIA file? And I was like, no. I plead the fifth. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? But I had a file because my dad had a file. And
wow.
There was, yeah, like, so it's like if you're family and they have all this, you know, like
confidential,
insurrection that we were causing, right? Pictures of us like shutting down the Bay Bridge when Prop 187 was going on and pulling fire alarms at the Capitol building. And I was like, I still get to meet Al Gore though, right? So that was I'm still trying to get a hold of that file so I can be curious to see what's in there.
Yeah,
but
what they say about you.
Interesting stories to say the least.
Wow. All right. That's definitely an interesting fun fact about your history. All right, Christina. Okay. Who's last? I think we missed one or two people as we close out the 5 o'clock hour. Noelle, did you get to go? And?
Me and Noelle. I'll let Noelle go first.
Okay, go for it.
I know what you're gonna say, Em, so I'll hold off. Because it's the same for both of us. But I guess a fun fact, I like to find the humor in everything. So a fun fact is I am my parents' favorite. And shout out to them because they're probably watching right now. That's all I gotta say.
Yay.
Thank you.
She's a parent. Do you have siblings? You're not an only child, right?
Yeah, I have siblings.
Oh,
I do.
Oh, you do.
But so they know.
Yeah, it's you. I love it. Thanks, Noelle. Okay, Emily, close this out. You are the last one, right?
Yes. It's funny that Noelle and I both had the same fun fact that we both chose not to say, which is just that that both of our parents worked at North High all of our lives. So we like basically grew up here. But no, my fun fact is that I like in my personal time, I play on it's amateur billiards league, but it plays on a weekly basis. And actually, a few years ago, one of my teams, we were able to make it to the World Championship in Vegas. And out of 800 teams, we placed 66th, which was like a almost $2,000 payout. So that was really cool.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So big money right here. Not only are they a winning combination, the counselors for our school district, they also make money in their spare time. So next counselor conference is in Las Vegas, I hear. That's where we need to go. All right, everyone, I am so honored. It was a privilege to be your moderator, your interviewer for today. Ladies and gentlemen, out there in the Salinas Valley, this is the Salinas Union High School District, the cream of the crop, the best of the best. National Counselor Week, we get to celebrate who they are, what they do every single day of the week for kids in our district. And so we hope that you continue to celebrate these fine individuals. If you know your counselor at your school, we learned today, fast forward to the beginning of their favorite ice cream, you can gift them with a coupon for their favorite ice cream anytime this week, but also just love on them, pour on them, let them know how great they are at what they do, because without a counselor in the lives of our students, it's going to be tough to find out what their hopes and dreams are. And so on behalf of all of our administrative team, on behalf of the parents, on behalf of the students, on behalf of the I was going to say in Spanish, Mesa Directiva de los Estados de aquí, the school board of trustees, and myself, thank you so much on what you do. And thanks for spending the last hour with us right here in the SUHSD. Thanks, everyone. This is Dr. Galvan signing off. If y'all can just unmute yourselves and wave. Peace out. Happy National Counselor Week. Woo! Unmute yourself. Yay.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Woo!
All right, we are off air.
All right, great job, you guys.